everyone, Allison G here, and I am a preschool teacher, and I was given an assignment to create a dream preschool for my merit assignment. We're required to do continuing education every year, and we need a certain number of hours. So our merit assignments are the assignments that we can do that can count towards the hours that we need for continuing education. And our assignment was to make a dream preschool classroom, but I might have gotten a little overboard and just created my whole dream preschool and dream educational system. So welcome to my 30-minute presentation about my dream preschool. Here we go. You are looking at the cover of my presentation. So very nice, lovely, and beautiful. Who wouldn't want to go to school there? The next image is a cross-section of the dome that is my dream preschool. This is an eco-dome of education node, or Eden. The basement level is for sleeping and resting for young children. The main level is the main classroom level, and the second level is a conservatory for plants. The third level is an animal husbandry level, and the fourth level is in the canopy of the third level, which is offices for the admin staff. This nice little cross-section was inspired by the Amazon Dome, so I can't take full credit, but I just kind of mishmashed it around to be my dream preschool dome. The next image is of the basement level, which is the sleeping area for ages 1 and 2 years old. Around the edge of the basement level are personal quarters for teachers. I would say maybe about 80 to 100 square feet. Not a puny little locker or cubby where you go stuff all your things when you go to work, but just a nice area to hang out and relax, and maybe enough for a couch and a desk and a chair. And each quarter can also be shared by 1 or 2 people. There's restrooms on each level as well. The potty denotes child restroom, and restroom denotes adult restroom. In this level, there is a hallway that spans around the ring, and in the walls of the hallway are storage areas, lots of drawers and cupboards for all of those wonderful toys that you switch out in each area on the main level for curriculum enrichment. The square beds are cribs for 1-year-olds and infants, and the round symbols are the mats for 2-year-olds. There's a little campfire light in the middle for simulation of an ambient atmosphere. The half wall around the sleeping area has bioluminescent plants on top, and you may look at this area and be like, whoa, oh my goodness, like 51-year-olds and 2-year-olds sleeping in the same area is going to be so crazy because they cry and all kinds of stuff. But the idea with this dream preschool is that children will have less stress, and they will be more healthy and more happy and holistic. So the crying and the whole upset around the sleeping time will be less of an issue. And if they cry, you can always take them to another area or into the personal quarters. There's probably cameras everywhere. So the idea of a teacher taking a child to a room with other attendants and teachers around where all the rooms are open with archways and stuff, it's not like a problem where there's a lot of policies and problems in our current system. So it's all cool. Everything's good in the sleeping dome hood. Okay, the next level is the main level. This is the main classroom level. You got the main entrance where the front door is. You have a dramatic play area and a library area, the loving care library. So you immediately enter into a space that is welcoming. There's a check-in desk and the ramp to the basement where, parents who bring their kids, they can hang out, they can read a story, they can drop their child off. And in the middle area is for dining during meals and gross motor play during playtime. And the parents usually come drop their children off during a mealtime. So very fluid drop-off situations. And the cubbies are all in the inner ring hallway for the children. The half wall is between the hallway and the center circle. And I would say half walls are considered children's walls, the walls for children, where they put their things, where we put their artwork and things like that. Each area corresponds to different areas of child development, like on the Washington Early Learning Guidelines, which I follow in my state where I work, and the Head Start Early Learning Outcomes Framework you can see reflected in the classroom areas on the perimeter of the dome. You have the kitchen where the chefs make all the food, and even children can go and have a cooking class in the kitchen during playtimes. You have the construction and manipulatives area, so blocks and all kinds of things to build with and play with in there. Work your little fine motor skills and your cognitive thinking and approaches to learning. You have the artistic expression and music area, painting, drawing, making music, exploring art, then the dramatic play area, and the library for language and literacy. You can learn to write in the library. And then the next area is cosmic and planetary exploration. And I feel like geography and culture, and, if you want to learn about transportation vehicles, that's where you go. And it's really important as a subject for preschoolers. And this preschool is based on a post-disclosure preschool where I'm sure we'll want to really educate our children about cosmic and planetary exploration. The next area is math, science, and innovation area. And then on this level, of course, there are plenty of restrooms, and the E in the center circle there is for the elevator. You have also an entrance to the playground and ramps, 2 ramps to the second floor. If the elevator goes out, you're going to need a place to get down. And who wants to use the stairs when the elevator goes out? I don't know about you, but I want to run down a ramp. Okay, during an emergency, you have to have everything in place for if there's an emergency. And I had this bright idea that if there was an emergency, some of the panels could open up and you could climb down the outside of the dome if there was really, like a big emergency. So I thought that would be pretty cool. Okay, the next image is the second level, which is a conservatory for plants, and also holds personal quarters for the admin staff, and then ramps to each level. And in this level, the children can learn about how to take care of plants and growing food and learn from the gardeners. The third level is the animal husbandry level. In the middle is the glass floor to the main level. Now on the second level, the personal quarters for the admin staff all have windows out to the main level, which the ceiling, the middle area of the ceiling is level 3 with this glass floor. And you can see there are ramps to each other level, and the animal environments in the half circle shelters that you see. And there are 2 fake trees that had spiral staircases and support the admin offices in the top. And there are restrooms, of course, and a chair lift to the admin offices to comply with all of the ADA. If there's an emergency or the elevator goes out, everyone's got to be able to get up and down. So can't use the stairs, use the chairlift. And level 4 is the admin offices connected by a catwalk and supported by the 2 big artificial trees. There is an office for each admin staff, one for the caretakers, like the janitor and facilities person, or the gardener, or the animal caretaker, and an office for the executive chef, an office for the master administrators, an office for the director, and an office for the teachers. Like if you want to go get some coaching with the career mentor, you go to the office and have a little meeting. The next image is of the teacher tower. The school provides living quarters for all the staff. Oh, what a wonderful idea. So the main level here, as you can see, there's a main level and then unit levels and then a nice garden dome at the top. This image is inspired by the Paris Smart City. And the main level, you can see it corresponds very nicely to this preschool main level. But you grew up and now you're an adult and you have adult things to do. So there's a workshop. You know, if you like woodworking, you go to the workshop where there are power tools, and there's an art studio. You can paint your art out. There's a spa and tea house. Traditionally, early childhood education is 95% female, and in a post-disclosure world when everyone's paid for their work and they don't have to pay rent, this is my post-disclosure preschool world, then maybe there will be more men in early childhood education, but I'm sure they'll want to go to the spa and get a massage too after a day of running around with toddlers. So you have a spa and tea house. You have a ramp to the basement level where there is a pool. And now this is not like the traditional kind of pool that you're thinking of is in all the apartment buildings and hotels and stuff. Not like a swim like in the chlorine and be all square and boxy. No, these are pools that you could have the hot pool and the cold pool, and they're all lighted with ambient lighting and bioluminescent plants. And you could have the swimming pool, and you kill all the germs with like essential oils that nobody is allergic to and awesome stuff like that, instead of getting out of the pool and smelling like bleach. So that's like my dream pool area. Then you have an entrance to the park. Hey, you want to go walk your dog in the park on your lunch break? You got a park right outside your door. And there's a library and technology area. There's a travel center, and there's an innovation station. You could go make some science happen in there. You could go consult a travel agent. So awesome. Main level, there's a kitchen where the chefs will make food for you, or you can make your own food or take a cooking class. And then eat in the dining center area, which can also double as an event and recreation space. Hey, maybe it turns into a yoga studio in the morning. The next level, or the next slide, is of the teacher tower unit levels. Each staff member receives an 800 square foot unit regardless of marital status. Wonderful. So you can come to live and work at the preschool with your spouse if you want. It's an option. If you work there, it's not a requirement, but it's an option. You could live somewhere else if you want, but it's so convenient to get to work when it's like a 5-minute walk away. So you're given an 800 square foot apartment unit. Just like that. You can make it 1 or 2 bedrooms because of a removable wall in the middle of the 2 bedrooms. You have a little kitchenette, but the idea is you'll probably be eating out with all of the wonderful, beautiful food that the chefs make for you. So you might only use the kitchenette for your own recreational cooking, or to cook food for guests, or to make food for a party. Something like that. So you have a little kitchenette, which is not a full kitchen because you might not need a full kitchen. There's one on the main level you can use. And there is a little living room space, a full bathroom and there's a laundry area, and it's pet friendly. You could have 2 cats or a dog if you want. And if you are married, you can have 2 units and connected by a doorway, and maybe you want to raise some children and they will live with you in the teacher tower. And you can have 1 unit for your kids and 1 unit for you. Hey, that would be awesome. Okay, the next image is of the weekday schedule of the G Preschool, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m., exercise and recreation programs for teachers and staff. You want to get up in the morning and go do some yoga, you can do that. And with this kind of schedule and living style situation, you're probably not going to be, dreading getting up in the morning, just hitting the snooze button and wishing you didn't have to go to work. Work is exciting and fun, and you do it because you love it, and you jump out of bed in the morning like at 7 o'clock, and you want to go do things before you meet with your children at 9 o'clock, if you're a teacher. And there's programs that are provided for you. There's a yoga class. There's, Tai Chi in the park or whatever till 9 a.m. From 8 to 9 a.m., breakfast is served in the Eden Pod Dome, and parents can come and eat breakfast with their children and drop their children off. Families with children should not have to worry about making food for their children when you can go to your preschool and there's an executive head chef who has specialization in pediatric nutrition, and you don't know what to feed your kids. Take them to preschool and eat breakfast with them there. Drop them off because you have a awesome job and you can get them there at 8 or 9 a.m. You don't have to get them there at 7 in the morning. In this new post-disclosure preschool system that I have created. And the teachers will arrive at 8:30 to 9 to transition the children into the educational experience. From 9 a.m. to noon is the educational exploration experiences with teachers, and the center circle on the main level turns into a gross motor area. The 3 to 5-year-olds play on the main level, and the 1 to 2-year-olds play on the playground or in the conservatory and animal husbandry levels. So you don't mix the two age groups too much. You have the younger kids in one area and the more older kids in the other area. And 11:30 to 1 is lunchtime is available. As a teacher, you kind of gauge that with the children that you're teaching. Do they need lunch at 11:30, or can they wait till noon or 12:30 to get them some lunch? So lunch is available between that time, and parents can come eat lunch with their children. It's also an optional drop-off and pickup time, and this time is a break for teachers, and the chefs and attendants and caretakers will help the children transition to rest time. So teachers need a break in the middle of the day to eat their meal as well, and that's when they will take their break, and other people will help children during the eating time. And 12:30 to 3 p.m. is nap, rest, rejuvenation, and relaxation time. The 1 and 2-year-olds can sleep in the basement, and nap optional for children 3 to 5 in the library, the center circle, which turns into a rest area, or the conservatory and animal husbandry levels. It's also a time for nap help, planning, and service for teachers. If your children are going to sleep for 2 hours, you can take a break and for 30 minutes, do some planning time, and an attendant from the basement will, text you when your child wakes up or something. It's a very handy system. Everything is close by right there. Or you could be in your teacher quarters hanging out, and someone will come get you when they know your children wake up. And 2:30 to 3:30, snack is available in the dining area. It's also an optional pickup and drop-off time for parents. Say you have a 1-year-old and a full day of preschool is just way too much for them because they're new. Take them to preschool just for the afternoon. And hopefully you can work with your job in this new system to allow for that. And then 3 to 6 p.m. is educational exploration experiences with teachers. The 1 to 2-year-olds are on the main level at this time. And then the 3 to 5-year-olds are on the playground or in the conservatory and animal husbandry levels. Sometimes they'll take field trips and bring their snacks along with them between 2 and 6. 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. dinner is served, and parents can come eat dinner with their children. Who wants to get home from a busy day of work and have to cook dinner for small people? Like, you don't want to do that. You just want to go home and relax. You don't have to cook dinner for your kids, because preschool will provide dinner, and you can go there and eat dinner with your child and then you can pick them up. It's so convenient. And then 7 to 9 p.m. socialization and recreation programs for teachers and staff. Staff of the G Preschool. Staff may live and work at the G Preschool with their spouse if applicable and role appropriate. And there's no conflict of interest and all of that. Then you can come work in the preschool with your spouse or your significant other or whoever or your sister. I don't know. Come work at the preschool with your loved ones. Some areas may also require more care than other areas, so that's why I have different amounts of people in these roles. The executive director can be 1 or 2 people, master administrators 2 to 4 people, executive chef 1 or 2 people, lots of food is grown on site, master chefs 2 to 4 people, and at least 1 for the Eden Dome specializing in pediatric nutrition, and 1 for the Teacher Tower specializing in adult nutrition. And you're probably going to ask yourself, whoa, how can 3 to 6 people cook all this food for 150 people? Well, the other people will help you, teachers and caretakers, maybe they have some time off and they want to go help you make dinner, or they're assigned to go help you make dinner. Everyone helps out everyone else because they're all cross-trained. Then you have an executive gardener, 1 or 2 people, master gardeners 2 to 4 people, executive animal caretaker 1 or 2 people, master animal caretakers 2 to 4 people, and they also do gardening and animal caretaking for the Teacher Tower, so you need people to help out with all those jobs. Executive facilities caretaker and janitorial facilitators 1 or 2 people, master facilities caretakers 2 to 4 people, master teachers 25 minimum, 35 maximum. That's kind of just about how much I calculated for the capacity of this little preschool dome. It includes 2 profession mentors, like career guidance coaches and counselors. And then intern teachers would usually be university students who can serve as substitutes, assistant teachers, and observers for their own occupational education. And assistant teachers would be usually high school students who are temporarily visiting the school for an extended stay with a chaperone to observe, tour, and gain occupational education. Teachers and caretakers, all staff are regularly serve in the main position that they were hired for, that they specialize in, and then they're cross-trained to serve multiple roles and fill in where it's needed. So if you have 3 hours to do what you want and you want to go help whoever take care of the animals for 15 minutes, you can go do that if you want, and that's a big help. This is my fictional timeline. This is the next slide. My fictional timeline as of 2018 when I make this project. Following a global ban on nuclear weapons, the non-terrestrials from our local 52-star cluster were allowed to engage in open contact with humans of the Earth, and we learned that some aliens are very much like us, human, as we were all part of a cosmic genetic, spiritual, and consciousness experiment from higher dimensionals. In 2021, in an effort to help reshape society after the overthrow of the Cabal, citizens were tasked to come up with ideas for their dream Earth city from the perspective of their current occupation. The Federal Reserve and military-industrial complex were disbanded, and military spending was rerouted to education. Although humans no longer needed money, they continued to use it for consciously nostalgic purposes, with a goal to phase out money by 2050. In 2022, Allison G., that's me, received a generous grant from the new U.S. to build a neighborhood based on her idea of education from her dream preschool submission. Her idea won the Seattle Metropolitan Post-Disclosure Preschool Award, and construction began on a G metropolitan neighborhood. Citizens from around the country applied to collaborate and live and work in the new area. About the founder of the G Preschool. Allison G. has a BA in theater and a BA in early care and education from the University of Washington. She has been working in professional child care for over 10 years and also has over 10 years of experience and education in holistic health and wellness. In her spare time, Allison enjoys watching Gaia TV, making crystal jewelry, and making digital art. She lived in an eco-village for a few years, and her experience with green living, knowledge of child development, holistic experience, and post-disclosure cosmic knowledge inspired her award-winning preschool. That part was nonfiction in the bio of the founder until this part, which is fictional, but I just made it up for fun. She was awarded the Seattle Metropolitan Post-Disclosure Preschool Award in 2022. Construction began, and teachers and citizens from all over the country applied to work and live in the G Metropolitan Model Neighborhood of Seattle, where all education was nation-funded by the U.S. after military spending had been rerouted to education. Because it's going to cost like billions of dollars to make my neighborhood, and to pay all the lovely people $5,000 a month to do their job with no rent and food expenses. Woohoo! My neighborhood. The next images of my neighborhood, the little house icons are the residential areas. The rectangles are the commercial areas. The small circles with the 4 points are preschools for ages 1 to 4. The larger circles are the elementary schools for ages 5 to 11. In my dream preschool and educational system, children at 11 and 12 years old take a world tour and skip all that middle school, junior high bozo nonsense. They go right to high school from ages 13 to 16 and figure out what they want to do in the world. Then they take another tour at ages 17 and 18 before entering university from ages 19 to 22 or maybe 25, depending on what you're learning and how long you want to do your education before joining the workforce. And that cell-looking thing in the middle is the university, and each star is a building that corresponds to one of the areas in the round dome all the way back to your preschool days. You got art, construction, recreation and service, which would have been the dramatic play area in preschool, culinary, math, science and innovation, literature and technology, travel, gardening, and animal husbandry. The teachers and students of the G Preschool are on the next slide. After the global ban on nuclear weapons and the awakening to our cosmic history and education, the United States implemented paid leave for up to 1 year for new parents and nation-funded preschool for children ages 1 through 5. Hallelujah! Because the U.S. in our current day and age of 2018 is far behind on our paid parental leave policies and our provided education for our youngest and fastest growing minds. So in an effort to reduce achievement gaps and help children get a great start on life, this is what we implemented. Yay! And in the G Preschool, teachers and staff work 6 to 9 hours per day and are compensated at $5,000 per month, and all room and board is provided by their school of employment. 6 to 9 hours, that's, might be 3 or 4 hours some days. It might be 9 hours another day. It might be 7 hours another day, or 6. So everyone kind of works as much as they want or as little, and they help out in other areas when they're not doing their main job. So no one is really lazy, and no one poo-poos you for not doing your job, because everyone knows what everyone is doing. And if someone is slacking off, other people are going to be like, hey, why are you slacking? What can I help you do? How can I help you stay on track? So it's a great system. The G Preschool Eden serves 96 to 100 students and 50 to 70 staff members. And then the elementary school compiles all the students from 4 preschools, and then the high school compiles students from 4 elementary schools, and then university from all of those high schools, like in my neighborhood. The teacher to child ratios, age 1 teacher to 2 children. You got 1 child for each hand to go running around that preschool. Age 2, 1 teacher to 3 children. Age 3, 1 teacher to 4 children. Age 4 and 5, 1 teacher to 5 or 6 children. And in the elementary school age, it's 2 teachers for 25 to 30 children. High school age, 50 to 55 children. University age, 120 to 150 students and teachers. They're really there to be mentors, because education is very mentored, but also very self-guided and self-directed. So you don't need 1 teacher for 30 children in high school to make them sit at a desk for 6 hours and listen to you blah, blah, blah on about nonsense that they might not be interested in. Students navigate the preschool with 1 teacher child group and another group. So if you're a teacher, you'll have 2 teachers and 4 1-year-olds. So if you're a teacher, you'll have 2 1-year-olds that you're responsible with, and you'll navigate the preschool with another teacher group. And that's kind of like your class that you go around the preschool with and do lots of wonderful learning. And then as you get older, your class sizes get bigger. Students move levels during the month of their birthday. So everyone moving school years in September is, I don't know. If I used this system, I would think that was a little nonsense, because some kids are ready before other kids or not. And age 4 and 5 is a transitional time for a move to elementary school, and students move when they are ready but before they turn 6. So if you got a 3-year-old prodigy popping out and they want to go to elementary school, I'm sure they could do that if they wanted. All staff must hold a degree in ECE, Early Education, which is the traditional degree that we get now, or IDEA, or their specialized field. So like if you're a gardener, you'll have a degree in gardening, and they're cross-trained to perform many tasks in the preschool Eden. IDEA is a post-disclosure degree for early childhood education in the infancy, development, and education arena, and it is based on the child developmental models inspired by the G Preschool, its new way of living and philosophy that all matter is created first from an idea. In this stage, children are learning about the world with many ideas. Their brains are forming amalgam in it, and they're making many connections, and this is the area where you study if you are going to become a preschool teacher. If you are going to become an elementary school teacher, you get a degree in EMOTE, Education Monetarization of the Edens. So all matter is propelled into existence through an expression like emotion. Children are learning how to express themselves into the world. They spend 1 day per week learning about each knowledge area of specialization and gaining skills for upper education. And they are learning about what they want to become. If you want to be a high school or university teacher, you get a degree in Material Mastery, Acolyte of Training and Education for Responsible Integration to Occupation. At the high school level, you will teach apprentices, and at the university level, you will teach interns. Citizens are learning about and choosing their occupations of specialization and moving into the working world. They spend high school studying their 3 top favorite subjects after their first world tour, and spend university studying their top favorite subject before occupation. And after post-disclosure, acolyte is traditionally a religious word in our society, but since religion gets all flipped up topsy-turvy onto its head after post-disclosure, some words seep their way into education, because acolyte is about the idea that you are in service. You are a master in service to train people how to get into their occupation in the working world. So you are a master servant and also a master teacher. The next image is of an elementary school main level, so you can kind of see how the preschool main level translates to elementary school. Instead of the construction and manipulative toys area, you have a building shop. Maybe you want to learn how to do woodworking. And there's the artistic expression area. The dramatic play area turns into the recreation and service area, where children can learn about different forms of recreation and different service occupations, like maybe firefighter or police officer. The ramp is to the gym and the medical center. Just maybe makes sense that the medical center would be near the gym. Then you have the entrance to the playground and the library, language literacy and technology area. And these are like giant classroom areas where children can learn all about this subject. Geography, culture, and travel instead of the planetary and cosmic exploration, like was in the preschool, and the math, science, and innovation. You might still want to call it planetary and cosmic exploration area, but I call it on this image geography, culture, and travel because that's what our brains can assimilate the best. Then the next images are of my dream preschool that I compiled together, and at the bottom I tried to make a note of where the images came from or what they were inspired by, because I know there's, people have copyright laws and they want to have credit, but I want to make art and do my assignment. So it's for personal and educational use, and I made some beautiful photos. Well, not photos. They're art of my dream preschool. And that is my presentation. I hope you enjoyed the G preschool presentation, and maybe someday someone somewhere out there might want to help me make this a reality. Goodbye.